Okay, so blackout poetry, basically what you're doing is you're taking a page out of a book. And I use this as a precursor, following up with an altered book project. So after we do this, this is kind of a short and sweet little project. You're going to you're going to pick a page from a book, you're going to tear that page out of the book, and then you're going to randomly pick some words. They do not have to make sense. And what you want to do is you want to highlight them. So this particular image right here is your real basic, like this is like an English teacher's dream, right? It's just basic blacked out poetry, true to the meaning of the process. But since it's art, we want to enhance this a little bit with design. So here's another one that again just uses black and white, and but they've incorporated the idea of this open road. So they highlighted these two words, open road, and then put a road, an image of the road into the blackout poetry. Even though they have other words here highlighted, they did incorporate that into there. So it has a little bit more creative approach than just complete black page. Another one where they've highlighted the words with marker and then did some design in the background and then did this drawing of a woman's face and some fire possibly coming out of her mouth and highlighting words within that design. And then you could go completely just design. So if you do go just design, what you want to do, like in this particular one, they just took a thin marker and kind of kept circling words. And then where they kind of meet, there's a little bit of movement here as far as design is concerned. They could have carried this on and kind of completely covered the page in this manner. Then you could get much, much more involved as far as design is concerned. In this one, you could see how they just highlighted these specific words here, and then they used the words within the design as well. So they didn't black out all these other words, but they used them within these design forms. And then a little bit of color, same kind of concept, but you're adding a little color into it. So you guys can use like markers, colored markers, you can use watercolor, you can use paint. You know, sky's the limit as far as what you can use. I've seen people use masking tape where they just take little pieces of masking tape and tape the whole page, and and the only words that show are the ones that they picked, and a little bit more design with the words kind of outlined. So the instructions are pretty simple. You're just gonna look at your page, you're gonna find words that jump out at you. And I would suggest using a pencil at first to kind of just circle those words. And then also maybe using a pencil to define your design as well. So you would underline the words that you want. And then you may find some connection between the words. Most of the time you do. There's some like uncanny kind of thing that works even if you just randomly pick words. Somehow there seems to be an underlying connection to them, but that is not necessary. You don't have to search for that. And then you black out all the other words that you're not using. I want you to use at least 4 words. I mean, 4 words is totally the minimum. You may want to go with more. I would suggest more, but you know, if you can't, you have to do the minimum, just 4. And then I have some on here. I've got some design ideas, you know, some patterning ideas that you can use. And there's another one of those. You can use just some patterning ideas for this if you want to stick just with design and not necessarily an image. So if you are here, we have books up here. the other thing I want to show you guys, and I'll show these guys at home in a little bit. Um, these are some examples of my students' work. So again, I'm going to say that I'm not going to repeat myself. So you got to do it, okay? All right. So just some examples of what students have done that I feel like are a little bit more than your basic blacked out poetry. A little bit of imagery in this one. I like how they added the word drops. And then this one, they just use marker, started really dark up here, kind of gave it a blue and gray, and highlighted the words. And then there's this little umbrella. So there's words highlighted in color here, and then highlighted in these drops too. And then this one isn't done, but I really like the concept of this one here. They got their words all set up, and they started to draw the stripes and add color into these stripes that they have all throughout when you get finished. So up here are books. So you can just go through here. It can be completely random. It does not have to really make any sense. There's markers here. There's Sharpies here. The scissors or rulers, they're there. Paint, watercolors are back there. Like, sky's the limit with what you want to do to the surface of your page. Okay? So this I use, what we'll do next, and that will start next week, is we'll literally take a book and we're going to alter it somehow and turn it into a sculptural form. So I'll be going over that more, much more. But I kind of use this as like a little exercise to start altering something that we have like a preconceived notion of. This is a page and it has words, and these words all line up and make sense. Now we're kind of switching that up. Okay? So help yourselves to these books, markers if you want them, and you can get started. It's not anything that I think takes a very long time, but definitely think about your design. Oh, I want to show these to the people at home. Yep, yep, you can. Cut them or rip them, however you want. All right, so those of you at home, I just wanted to show you some examples that I have here at school. And oops, where are we? There we go. I want to show you these examples that I have at school of some of my students' work. So here's one. Oh, it goes this way. So this is done with markers so that you can see how they highlighted certain words. They started like dark black and then went down faded blue and gray, had these little stars in there. And so it's a little bit about, it says light years, traveling at light speed, stars, some of the words that they circled. So their image kind of looks like that, related to the words that they have. Again, don't have to do that. So this is another one. And, the nice little tree with a bird and these little drops that have words incorporated in them. And again, these words do not have anything to do with these images. It's just a way of, a creative way of showing the blackout poetry. Another one I have is this. So some words incorporated into the raindrops, and then there's words incorporated in here in color, and the little umbrella kind of put over that. And the last but not least is one that's just beginning. So you can see how they highlighted the words with marker, and then they started doing the color, but if you can see the lines that they drew, so those were all going to be filled in with color. So this is just the beginning of a piece. All right, so if you have a book at home, that's awesome. You could use a page from your book and do this blackout poetry, and then we can use that same book for our next project. Huh? Yeah, there's little paper right there. It's right up past. So then, from there, if you don't have a book, it'd be good to find one. I know that thrift stores have them really cheap. My giant grocery store has a bookshelf that people are always trading books. I think they're like 50 cents or something like that. If not, I can get you one. So you need to just let me know. And then the other thing is that if you do not have that readily available for the blackout poetry, you can use newspaper or you can use a magazine. Something that a page that has words on it would be fine. You good? Okay. Yep, here. So from there, like I said, this should not take very long. I'll put up the assignment on Monday for this one so you can take a picture and I can see what you've done. And then there we will go into physically altering the books into sculpture. So more about that next week. So let me stop this.